Hi everyone. So I know I haven't vlogged in a while, and I'm sorry about that. I've been really busy with work, and I've just been getting sidetracked about everything. But I kind of wanted to try something new with this vlog. I wanted to try and do a video vlog. Not really sure it's going to work out, but I've been surfing a lot of blogs lately, and I found that oftentimes video blogs are just easier to watch. So, I love to write, and I love organization, so this is going to be a struggle for me because those of you who know me know that I can't really talk very well. So, but I want to try this nevertheless, and I'll just see how it works out this one time. So if you guys like it, let me know. And the topic of this blog, surprisingly, I don't really want it to be about, it's not going to be about China or travel or the things I've done or anything really related to my trip in Shanghai. It's actually about what I want to do with my life. I've been abroad twice now, and once to South Africa, and then obviously this time now in China. And one of the things that I found is that, being alone thousands of miles away from your home really helps you to give a perspective on, it helps give you perspective on your life back at home. And for this trip, one of the things that I've gained a new perspective on for some reason or another is what I want to do after I graduate college. And lately, I can really see myself as a doctor. And I've been interested in a lot of professions before, as anyone watching this probably knows. But never before have I really felt a lot of conviction or like excitement about doing one of those professions. It's not this, now it's not, I feel excited about being a doctor. I want to be a doctor, and I want to go to medical school. And I think I just want to talk a little bit about why, maybe, or try and articulate why I've started to feel this way. And that's what I want this post to be about. Now, those of you who know me know that, this isn't coming out of the blue. I've been considering becoming a doctor for a long time. It's just been, I've been considering that in addition to many other things. But on this trip, for some reason or another, it's just become clear to me that, I don't want to do one of the other things that I was considering. I want to become a doctor. And about 2 weeks ago, I was thinking, I was just thinking in my head in the introverted way that I do, and this thought process happened that really clarified to me that I wanted to become a doctor. So I guess I'll start by talking about that. So one of the things that I really like to do, probably to the point that it's unhealthy, and I just do this all the time, and it's getting to the point where it's just ridiculous, but I like to think about what I want to do when I graduate, which obviously is an important question, but I really want to do something meaningful. I want to do something I love. And so I think about this all the time. And 2 weeks ago, or about 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure exactly when, I was thinking about this. And I did something that I'd never done before. And I asked myself, okay, so what are the things in life that I've really loved and that have just been amazing experiences that, if given the opportunity, I know I would never turn down to do again. Which I probably should have asked myself that a long time ago, but for some reason I never had. And one of the things that came to my mind, there were many, but one of the most prominent were, when I was in high school, I think starting maybe my sophomore year or something like that, one of our neighbors who's friends with my mom, she called my mom and asked if I'd be willing to do physical therapy for another one of our neighbors that at the time we didn't know, but who had multiple sclerosis. Because the kid who was doing the physical therapy was going off to college, and they needed someone new because to get an actual physical therapist is expensive, and so on and so forth. And so my neighbor called my mom and asked if I could do it. And the kid who had been doing it would teach me how and everything like that. And I would just have to go down once a week, and they would pay me like $15 or something like that. And I would do physical therapy for 45 minutes. At the time, it seemed like a pretty basic thing. So I said yes. It was an extra way to make money, and maybe I could put it on my resume, which when I was in high school, I was obsessed with that. Loading up my resume for college applications. So I said yes, and I started doing it, and I learned how to do the therapy. And the man who I was doing it for, I'll just call him K, because I've heard that I'm not supposed to use real names on the internet, so I'll just call him K. He turned out to be just this amazing, just very inspiring. He had this terrible disease. If you guys don't know what multiple sclerosis is, what it does is it's an autoimmune disease that attacks your nervous system, and you slowly lose function of everything in your body. When I had started the therapy, Kay could not move his legs. He could barely move his arms. He could kind of move his fingers. And really the only thing he could move well was his face, and he could move his mouth and his eyes and things like that. So essentially, he lost all independence. But despite that he couldn't do the things that he used to love doing, that he couldn't work, that he couldn't go outside really, or cook food, and that he was entirely dependent on others, there was still so much life in it. He was still just a happy person, and he just took everything in stride so well. And he's so interesting as well. He was from the UK, and he had been an engineer in the States prior to being diagnosed with this disease. And he read so many books and so many National Geographics, and knew so much about the world, and we used to just talk all the time about all of these interesting things. And I was in high school, and I had never heard about so much of the things we talked about, and it was cool. It was fascinating. And his wife, who I'll call M, she was amazing as well. She would come in and chat with us as we were talking to, and she was so strong too, because even though it was her husband Kay who had the disease, she still had to take care of him. This disease affected her probably close to as much as it affected him. And just their strength just really rubbed off on me. And unfortunately, before I graduated high school, Kay had a heart attack and passed away in his early 60s. And I remember I was going to the funeral with my mom, and in the car I was composed and everything. But once it wasn't a funeral, sorry, it was a wake. But once I walked into the funeral home, I just broke down. It came out of nowhere for me. I was shocked. I just started crying, not sobbing loudly, but crying, and I couldn't stop. And I remember M just walked up to me, and this is her husband's wake, keep in mind, and she started comforting me. The man who died, his wife, who you think this would be harder on than anyone, started comforting me. And I was just amazed. And it was at that time I just realized, even though I've been helping Kay with this physical therapy, I benefited far more from doing this job than Kay did. And I helped. It was awesome just being able to help them with this disease, and do what little I could to help, but then also to receive something in return. And I feel like this is something that doctors get to experience every day. Not only do you get to go and help wonderful, inspiring, strong people, you get to meet these people, but you get to help them deal with these horrific diseases, and hopefully you get to help make them better and help them to continue living and to move past this disease. And what a job. And I guess that's just I've been reading so many blogs lately about doctors. There are plenty of amazing doctor blogs. And then I've also been reading blogs of patients who, are dealing with diseases, and they write as well. And just that they're incredible. They're just really incredible. And I want to be a part of this community. I want to help people deal with the diseases. I want to be. I can't really articulate it too well. It would be hard. I guess you'll have to talk to me about it. I think it would make more sense. I hope I'm just not rambling, but yeah, I don't know. It's what I want to. I can see myself doing it, and like even today, I mean, I feel like I've always been the friend who's good at like listening, and who's good at, people come to with their problems. Even in China, well, a friend of mine who I just met, well, I guess I'll call L, he's a student at Shanghai Jiao Tong University, and a week ago he was diagnosed with diabetes, and I remember he came in the day after being diagnosed, and he was struggling with just struggling with this diagnosis, and he was telling me about it, and how his mom just like broke down and started crying when he was diagnosed, and I get that's not really helpful, I don't think. So, and he was freaking out because his mom was freaking out. But then he was able to talk to me, and I just feel like I think I'm decent in those types of situations at talking to, especially since I told him about like having Crohn's disease and how I had to like change my diet, and how really it's like in the end there are good things that come out of that. You learn how to control your life better. You learn how to. You feel like just like grabbing your disease by the horns and just like controlling it is empowering, I think. And I kind of told him about that experience, and how in some ways I've become, in a lot of ways I think I've just become a better person because of my Crohn's, and that helped him see like, okay, this isn't the end of the world. I can deal with this diagnosis. I'll have to change my diet. I'll have to start exercising, but it's not the end of the world. And so, I mean, obviously that's like a very small example, but I mean, I think I love that. I love that kind of stuff, and that's what you do as a doctor. And so yeah, so I guess that's my post for the day. I apologize for those of you who came here expecting to hear about what I've been doing, but I felt this was important, and I'm excited about it too. Obviously, there's more work I need to do. I need to do some research. I'm going to email my Crohn's doctor back home in Boston, and see if she will have coffee with me and talk about med school and talk about what it entails. And then also I'd like to talk to her and ask her if she knows any other doctors that would be willing to talk to me, particularly doctors in fields that I might be interested in joining. So this is preliminary. I still have some research that I want to do first, but I'm excited about it. I feel like maybe finally have a career path. I don't even know. If it comes true, I'll probably be like one of the only people with majors in social science, engineering, and medicine, which would be kind of cool too. But but yeah, so that's my post for today. Let me know how you guys liked the video blog, or if you didn't like it. If you didn't, I can just go back to writing. And I guess this is really awkward to end. I don't really know how, but I guess until next time, I'll see you guys later.